Now let's tap into the book. So so he starts the book off, you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, he narrating the book, which is always a plus, you know what I'm saying? And so you get to hear them, in their element. Some does it better than others, some does it phenomenal. But anyway, the forward is, you know what I'm saying, by Iyanla Van Zant. So I thought that was dope. And come to find out, she's a has a huge influence on people in prison. Her readings, you know what I'm saying. They like to get their hands on and read it. I guess they get a lot inspired, which was something that I learned through the book as well. You know what I'm saying. So he starts there as well as uh, speaking on his first day out. That's where we start. You feel me? So he gets out in 2017, 2018, and he's on parole until 2048. Wow. You know what I'm saying? It goes back. He talks about uh, uh, when he got out because of his troubling behavior from the past, which we'll get into, that people was, doubting that he would stay out, and the energy was it wasn't met with a lot of positive vibes and positive outlooks, just dealing with his previous actions, what led him back and forth to jail. You know what I'm saying? So he was dealing with that uh, when he exited. And I just remember him speaking on the fact that he had $1,000 and he got on video and he spoke on how he's going to turn that 1,000 to 100,000 and that to a million and that to 100 million. And all of that is being manifested currently. You know what I'm saying? Another powerful thing that I learned from these books, which I have to take into account more often, is writing things down, writing it out. It's one way to do it on that notes or to verbally do it, but they always speak on writing it out. And there is something with writing it out. I feel it when I write my notes out to do this show. I really do love that aspect of the show. Matter of fact, is one of my favorite, is probably my favorite part of the show. So if it was come to writing the song and performing it, I feel like I would at this point, well, just making a correlation, I feel like I would be on the writing side for whatever reason. Something it does feel good to write things out, but again, getting off track, he wrote those things down, hit the ground 10 toes running, and you know what I'm saying, moved in that direction with all of the different things that we'll get into. You know what I'm saying? So takes it back to his childhood. Was getting into a lot of trouble, but always was funny and everything gonna be all right. One of those type of people. You know what I'm saying? It's always funny and try to cheer everybody up. You can't be down or frown around him too long because he's gonna have you laughing. You know what I'm saying? And have you feeling good. He was really good at that, but at the same time, getting into a lot of trouble. So it all started to take a turn at the age of 11. You know what I'm saying? When he went to jail at the age of 11. You know what I'm saying? He got caught stealing or something, and he actually went to jail. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, within his upbringing, those who he had to look up to were hustlers. You know what I'm saying? And different things like that. Those who were doing the wrong things right there in the streets of Philly. You know what I'm saying? One of his positive influences is Karate Earl, which is funny that he's mentioned in the book because he's mentioned so heavily on the podcast. So I thought it was pretty dope of him to have this little section that he dedicated to Karate Earl. You know what I'm saying? Which is a guy who he met as a youngin and taught him his, martial arts. Gave him his martial arts background or what have you. And he was a big fan of Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon, and Wallo. A lot of the things that he was a fan of, a lot of us were. You know what I'm saying? From the hip hop to the being fans of The Last Dragon and all these different things. We relate to those of us of a certain age, and he's even younger than I am. I'm 49, but I can relate to all of those things myself. But one of the unfortunate things is this with him, to his story. You know what I'm saying? He got drawn into living a life of crime, in particular robberies, by his big brother. You know what I'm saying? There was an incident that happened at home with his mother. I ain't gonna give you that because I don't like to give all of the details of the book. So I'm just giving you some outlines, and please tap into the book though. It's a very fascinating story because one of the things I love about Wallo, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But anyway, so he was sucked into that and influenced into that motion by his little brother, by his big brother, pardon me. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out later that his big brother always struggled with drugs, you know what I'm saying, with drugs and stuff. So it's just unfortunate that Big Bro was probably, on drugs at the time when he invited his brother into that lifestyle. And unfortunately, it cost Wallow half of his lifetime, you understand? So moving along, man, he starts to so moving along, man, one of the interesting things is about him and Gilly connecting, you know what I'm saying, and finding out they was family because do I tell this? Oh well, so I'm pretty sure I've heard Gilly saying that Wallow used to have to or they took baths together or something, or he had to take a bath after him when they was 3, and or he used to bathe him or something. If I'm not mistaken, I heard that. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna we ain't gonna give that up. Just tap into the book, man. Armed with good intentions. Another pardon me, even I'm off on a tangent, but let me state this because I forgot to state it at the beginning. That armed with good intentions is a powerful quote that I believe the book title stemmed from that quote because he started with the quote that the road to heaven or the road to hell is armed with good intentions, whatever that quote is. I believe that's what gave him the title for the book. You feel me? But moving along though, he's in and out of jail, and he ends up doing 2 bids in prison. So he's in and out of juvenile with all types of stories of what's the goings on of getting in the system and all the this and that goes on within the juvenile system. And then so he's doing that, and then he does 2 prison bids, you know what I'm saying? The first of which I believe was like late 90s into like 2001 or something like that, and then the second was from whatever up until like 2017, you know what I'm saying? So within those stories, man, it just speaks on a lot on obviously all types of crazy stories like he used to share on the segment of uh, Tales from the Cell. If you watched $1 million worth of game, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely has some tales from the cell that are pretty awful. But a lot of the different things that happen with him, uh, interesting. No, we don't give that up. But all of the different types of things that happen with him. But one of the yeah, we have to mention that. Okay, so at one point, his big brother ends up being a cellmate. You know what I'm saying? His big brother ends up being his cellmate, and during that time is when Wallow decided to support his brother and go to the meetings with him. You know what I'm saying? The AA or whatever it is, the drug meetings. And within doing that, Wallow found his speaking voice. You know what I'm saying? So even though he wasn't dealing with those issues of addiction, I forgot what he said he was speaking on, but he was speaking on other things. And within that, everybody loved him as a speaker. You know what I'm saying? So that built the foundations for him to hit the ground running and using his voice because he saw the effect that it had on people once when he was in, you know what I'm saying, when he was in the cell, you know what I'm saying. So that one led to another type of class or another type of class like that or what have you, in which that got bigger, and he really held on that to that when he got out. So he does those bids, he comes out, he hits the ground running. Here's another crazy thing about like people who may look at Wallo's situation and be like he's only he's on because of his cousin was famous or what have you. But the thing about that is this: I'm quite sure there are hundreds of rich people who's got a cousin in jail, and when that cousin comes out, they don't turn into Wallo. You know what I'm saying? So, but what you got to love about someone like Wallo is this: he took all of the ambition and the grind and the hustle that he had, and he, leveraged that with uh, being connected with a cousin who had, what I'm saying, some vision and some motion. With a cousin who had some motion, you know what I'm saying. He coupled that, and he made something out of himself, man. Something huge. You know what I'm saying? Wallo's a speaker. He's part owner of this, that, and the third. Got some high positions at YouTube, all types of different things that he's got going on out of coming straight out of jail. So it's a powerful and inspiring story because at the same time, he's not a rapper. He's not an athlete. He's not a actor. You know what I'm saying? He has built, came out of jail and got right in the middle of this content podcast type of world and thriving. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's just always been inspiring. I remember the old videos of him just saying, like, if you broke and you got this phone in your pocket, that's your money right there. You know what I'm saying? So, doing all these different ways to motivate us, and he still does that to this day. You know what I'm saying? Which is a great thing about him. So when his book dropped, I was definitely proud, one, and eager to check it out. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, tap into the brand new book by your man, Mr. Wallo267. You know what I'm saying? Armed with good intentions. This is your man, LP. LPs and books. Over and out.